Welcome to the last, can you believe it, Litsoc of half term. We started in sunshine and we are finishing in rain, which is a bit more appropriate for October, but we have had some lovely days, a bit like a St Martin's summer or Indian summer if you prefer. So today we are looking at the shortlist of the Booker Prize. Can anybody tell me what the Booker Prize is? Those of you who've been before with this, you do know, but you might have forgotten. Josie, can you remember?
It's the prestigious, like...
Publishers send in those, and then we have a judging panel, don't we? And it's a £20,000 prize, which doesn't sound a lot now, but it used to be an awful lot. I think the Bailey Gifford's more, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Well, I mean, 20,000 is still a lot of money.
It is still a lot of money, but probably any author would say years of graft, hard graft, is probably
Worth more than 20,000.
worth more. So on the table we've got a selection of the past winners. Lincoln in the Bardo, George Sanders, Shuggie Bain, Milkman, The Luminaries, The Testaments. Is Girl, Woman, Other out?
Yeah.
Yes?
Others
Girl,
out,
Woman,
is it?
Others out, right. Hurley Mantel's Bring Up the Bodies, and Mr Humphreys and I have some of the shortlist. Only some of the shortlist.
Oh, we forgot to put the rest out.
We forgot to put the rest out.
It's
However, we
behind
will
the counter.
bring them to
This is
the
very good to get the
camera.
rest of the shortlist, sorry.
So that's what we're talking about today, and then we're going to do recommendations for the half term if we have time. It's getting on a bit. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is actually a historical novel. Not unusual for the Booker Prize. I haven't yet started it. It was long-listed and now it's shortlisted. It's called This Other Eden, Paul Harding. What can you see on the front, Sophia? What's that? An apple, yeah, an apple. This will not be the first book I've read about apples. Tracy Chevalier wrote a very good book about apples. Paul Harding has won the Pulitzer Prize before. That's an American-only prize. So let me read you the blurb. Are we sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. The profoundly moving story of an island refuge and a community of outcasts living on borrowed time. Set at the beginning of the 20th century and inspired by historical events, This Other Eden. Now, This Other Eden is a quote from a very famous poet and playwright called William Shakespeare, yes, and actually applies to Britain, England. It's said in Rich II, is it not, Mr Humphreys? No. Set in the Silver Sea. Tells the story of Apple Island, an enclave off the coast of the United States where waves of castaways in flight from society in its judgment have landed and built a home. So, could be coming from America, could be coming from Europe or even Africa. Benjamin Honey, American, Bantu, Igbo. Bantu and Igbo were tribes associated with both the Caribbean and Africa. Born enslaved, freed or fled at 15, aspiring orchardist, arrived on the island with his Irish wife Patience and discovered they could make a life together there. More than a century later, the Honey's descendants remain with an eccentric, diverse band of neighbours. Then comes the intrusion of civilization, which was determined to cleanse the island, and a missionary schoolteacher selects one light-skinned boy to save. The rest will succumb to the authorities' institutions or cast themselves on the waters in a new Noah's Ark. So it's about othering again. It's about people arriving and trying to change things. According to the blurb, full of lyricism and power, This Other Eden explores the hopes and dreams and resilience of those seen not to fit in a world brutally intolerant of difference. Sadly, all too true. Lots of good quotations, and I will choose our favourite, page 69, very quickly. We haven't done that for a while, have we?
No, we haven't.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, 69 is recommended by John Sutherland, an English academic. By the time you get to 69, if it's not a good paragraph and it doesn't tell you something, then it's not worth it. I worry most that my idea may lead everyone involved into several sorts of temptation. And it does not exactly follow the line and plummet of the word in capital letters, which I think means the word of God. Would such temptations be lesser than the possible good I sense in freeing this one boy? Anyway, from bonds of prejudice, from that mystical body of iniquity, so called, he will otherwise inevitably suffer, even as other remarkable island children are not so similarly chosen. Right, well, in which case, I think we've got third person, and we've also got first person narration, because this is a letter, and this is to do with the missionary school teacher selecting his, or thinking about selecting the person he's going to save. And he's going to save him to become an artist, which is quite interesting. Anyway, I look forward to reading this, and I'll let you know when I've read it. And we'll the prize is announced on the
later November.
Yes, late in November, when there's a big ceremony, and usually the Duchess of Cornwall is there, but I assume the Queen will be there this year. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyway,
Consort, yeah.
So, do you want to go next?
Yeah, so I've got, this is the one that stood out for me. It's called Study for Obedience by Sarah Bernstein. And a young woman moves from the place of her birth to the remote northern country of her forebears to be housekeeper to her brother, because, men are very useless at looking after houses, whose wife has recently left him. Soon after arrival, a series of inexplicable events occurs. She notices that local suspicion about incomers in general seems to be directed with some intensity at her, and she senses a mounting threat that lies just beyond the garden gates. And as she feels the hostility growing, pressing at the edges of her brother's property, she fears that, should the rumblings in the town gather themselves into a more defined shape, who knew what might happen, what one might be capable of doing. So it's kind of about how difficult it is to be a woman, really, because it is a study in obedience. Women should know their place, and she is automatically assumed...
They shouldn't, by the way. They shouldn't know their place.
No. But, I would have thought that would have gone without saying, hopefully. But, yeah, so she, because she's automatically assumed to be inferior or a subsidiary of her brother, subservient to her brother, or even a witch as an outsider, You're not from around these parts, are you? Are you local? No? Right, there we go. So... we don't trust you. More othering. But also, what I like about this is it's clearly a product of being influenced by Franz Kafka, because it's all very surreal. And here's I'm not going to read page 69 because I want to read the opening. It was the year the sow eradicated her piglets.
Ooh,
it was
nasty.
A swift and menacing time. One of the local dogs was having a phantom pregnancy. Things were leaving one place and showing up in another. It was springtime when I arrived in the country, an east wind blowing, an uncanny wind as it turns out. Certain things began to arise. The pigs came later, though not much. And even if I had only recently arrived, had no livestock caretaking responsibilities, had only been into lurks safely on one side of the electric fence, I knew they were right to hold me responsible. But all that, as I said, came later. So there you go. Immediately we've got a dog with a phantom pregnancy and some pigs dying.
Pigs. Well, the sow eats her pigs.
The sow eating the pigs, right? Eradicating her pigs.
Which is what happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't look after them.
Other things happen as well, like crops failing. And yeah, the locals who are very weird and disturbing cast of characters. Yeah, make you feel not very welcome. Remote rural Canada.
Oh, right, okay. So
this is a Canadian one, and it's also one of the female authors too, because one thing about the book shortlist this year is that it was 4 men and 2 women, and only 2, I think, British novels. Yeah. So yeah, there's some rumblings already, perhaps. But yeah, so you can see that was quite a powerful opening line, wasn't it? It's very lyrical again, as the book often is, and this one's very short.
Quite modern too. It's electric fence. So
yeah. I think it's contemporary.
And also the cover is very reminiscent of the goldfinch.
It is, yes, Donatel's the goldfinch, and you can see it's a bird that's not in the best of health.
To say the least.
You could probably tell by the picture there. Whereas, you could say the goldfinch isn't in the best of health either, because it is.
No, absolutely.
Because of its situation. So yeah, so that's the one that stood out to me. So, yeah.
Okay.
Bit of a contrast there. So, Miss Rio has very kindly brought the rest of the shortlist over. So, if you want to bring it towards us.
Miss Rio, do you want to choose one, or...?
I think you did. Did you choose one?
Did you choose one?
Yeah, briefly. I had a quick little look. I can talk about it.
Do you want to come and talk about it?
I'm able to get through the labyrinth.
The one when I was just sort of browsing on the website, on the book website, they've got famous sort of British actors and actresses reading passages from the books. So this was the one I liked the most from that, and it's basically just about
What's it called? For those
The Bee Sting, Paul Murray, sorry. It's about an Irish family, and it jumps between the perspectives of different members of the family as you go through the book, and basically it's just about everything kind of slowly going wrong. And how, you know, it's like straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing, and it's lots of different little things leading up to a culmination of something that happens at the end. I haven't read it, so I don't know what, but this idea that just it doesn't take a lot to get the
to get the dominoes falling.
Yeah, kind of, and just that kind of human experience that a lot of families go through, you know. It's something that happens.
Is Paul Murray Irish?
I'm not sure.
I think he might be Australian, because his best known novel before this was Skippy Dies, which is another heartwarming title.
Skippy Dies.
Yeah, it's another heartwarming title, isn't it?
Yes.
So,
Skippy, if you don't know, everybody, and you probably don't, was a very famous kangaroo in an Australian children's series of the 1960s and 70s. When Skippy dies, then that's really bad.
it's as bad as it gets, guys. I mean,
it'd be worse if Bluey died.
Yeah, it's Bambi. You know, you've all seen Bambi, right?
Yeah.
You know the bad thing, or The Lion King is another. So just think along those lines. So he obviously deals with like the very worst things that could happen. I think.
But yeah, it's called
The bee
it's called The Bee Sting because it kind of all starts with a bee sting at a wedding, or the morning of a wedding.
Which also happens in a Bridgerton novel, funnily enough.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, Lulu, right, Lulu.
Yeah, Lulu.
But yeah, it's like that seems like just a small innocuous thing, and then it's kind of like the start of, I don't know. So I think it's meant to be quite funny. It's like a dark comedy.
Yeah, I think Skippy Dies was too.
Yeah. So it's not. It sounds more depressing than I think it's going to be, but like I said, it's all the different points of view of the family members it jumps between. And when I was reading about it, it said there's this sort of like rundown, like garage shack type thing at the back of their house, and they all go to it thinking it's their own little special place. But the other never realises, they never cross paths, and they're like, this is my place to be on my own and have my bit of solace. But every single member of the family does that, and it's like a sort of funny little way of them, like, they're not together but they're together without realising, and the sort of family bonds of that. And I thought that sounded like a really, I don't know, a cute little run through, even though I don't know.
Cute?
Yeah, kind of. It is cute because it's like they think they're all so separated from each other, but actually they're all doing the same thing to get themselves a bit of calm, and it's kind of a sweet thing that runs through the story of they're more alike than they realise.
Yeah,
you know?
it sounds like it could be. You just mentioned the bee sting starts it. It's almost like the butterfly effect, right? I'm not saying it's sci-fi. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, it could be.
And it triggers but without being classic sci-fi, because I'm sure it's not.
No,
I don't. It doesn't normally go for sci-fi.
I don't think it is sci-fi. No,
no, judging by what he's written before, I think it's more the idea of as you were saying, how things can go wrong very quickly. Dominoes.
As near to sci-fi as it gets.
Yeah.
Or dystopian.
Yeah, that was 2 or 3 years ago now, wasn't it? The Overstory. So
yeah, it's kind of just about small things becoming big things, and the human experience and that. So that sounds interesting.
I think that sounds.
I don't know when it's set. I don't know if it's set in Ireland in the 90s, because that would be a very different backdrop.
Yes.
I don't know if it's present. It doesn't actually say, but I'm assuming it's in the present day, because usually they tell you if it's
not.
So, but that might be an added extra. I don't know.
It sounds fun in a morbid sort of way.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's not quite as bad as the wasp factory. Is it?
Very few things are, and we shan't talk about the wasp factory.
I don't think anything could be worse.
I don't think today.
True dystopian.
So, did you want to talk about the other three then?
Yeah, I'll come and talk about it.
Yeah. Or maybe the three of us could do one each.
Yeah, three of them.
These are the last three.
Can you pass me the bottom one, because I kind of vaguely looked at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Which one do you?
I think I'll have that one if you don't mind.
Okay.
Right, so
this one then.
Should we have Miss Rio seeing as she's in the hot seat?
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, right. Okay.
Sorry, you've got up, and I'm sending you back.
Well,
again.
I mean, there's that seat there. There's some seats right there.
Oh, I've forgotten. They're right there.
Sorry.
Right, I'll just retreat tonight.
Sorry for suddenly.
Well, I know.
Push pull.
I know very little about this one. I've obviously just picked it up. I'll read the description. 1979, Topper and Sanya flee to Miami as political violence consumes their native Kingston, Jamaica, but they soon learn that the welcome in America will be far from warm. Trelawney, their youngest son, comes of age in a society which regards him with suspicion, greeting him with the puzzled question, "What are you?" Their eldest son, Delano's longing for a better future for his own children is equalled only by his recklessness in trying to secure it. As both brothers navigate the obstacles littered in their path, they find themselves increasingly pitted against one another. Will their rivalry be the thing that finally tears their family apart? So the other, just like the other ones you were saying, it's all about being othered in a new society and being seen as different by people that don't want to accept you. But if it's set in America in the 70s and they're from Jamaica,
Yes.
you can sort of assume
We can assume
the tensions, but
post-civil rights, but not too post-civil rights.
yeah,
so.
not directly. It's probably a situation where people thought it was more settled than it actually was as well. So I imagine maybe that's going to be, I don't know,
So
interesting.
who's the author? Jonathan?
It's called If I Survive You, and it's by Jonathan Escoffery.
Okay.
I don't know much about him.
I don't know.
Oh, it says it's a debut.
There we go.
There you go. Okay, that sounds quite
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, it does. It
That's
does.
an achievement, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shortlist for a debut. Wow.
But yeah, that one sounds quite interesting from first impressions.
Mhm.
Do you want to go next?
Right, so this one I picked up is Chet and Maru, Western Lane. Now, you all know how much I love my sport and my sporty novels, whether it be my Walter Tevis talk or my talking about Carrie Soto is back at Taylor Jenkins Reid. But this one is a beautiful and moving first novel about grief, sisterhood, and a teenage girl. There you go. So it could be classed as YA. Only probably not. A teenage girl struggles to transcend herself, and she's not a teenage girl because it says you're 11-year-old. 11-year-old girl who has been playing squash since she was old enough to hold a racket. So when her mother dies, her father enlists her in a quietly brutal training regimen, and the game becomes her world. Obsessive. Slowly she grows apart from her sisters. His life is reduced to the sport, guided by its rhythms, the serve, the volley, the drive, the shot, and its echo. But on the court she is not alone. She is with her pa. She is with Jed, a 13-year-old boy with his own formidable talent. She is with the players who have come before her. She is in awe. So, obsession, sport, and how it can consume, how being obsessed with anything can just sort of, if you let it, it defines you and it just eradicates. I've just borrowed that word from the striking first sentence, or it dislocates, shall we say, your identity, and it can sort of, play havoc with you in unforeseen ways. So that sounds.
Yeah, sounds
it sounds interesting, and squash is not a sport that we're too into here in this country. This is clearly India.
Yeah, I was going to say, where's
would
it
say.
set? Yeah.
Sorry,
We were once.
were we?
Yeah, we had a champion in the 1970s.
Oh.
Okay. I did not know that.
When's it set? Is it
Amazing.
is it modern?
I think so. Yeah. I don't know if you ever stood in the middle of a squash court on the tee and listened to what's going on next door. That's the opening sentence. So, describing it in loving detail, but bordering on an obsession, and it's like anything with where you got a character who's just consumed by one thing and wants to prove himself to be the best at that thing at all costs, which Carrie Soto does to a certain degree. But this looks like it's even more, and it's probably going to be even more of a psychological study. So, interesting. Yeah, there you go, another interesting one. A good cover as well, because they mentioned she had sisters, so I don't know if there's a reason why they've had the.
Seeing the cover, I wouldn't think that's what it was about.
No,
It
not
doesn't.
at all.
I don't know. Not that it has to, but it really doesn't give me.
Yeah,
But
they're sort of in
it's an
they're both in
interesting
the fetal
choice.
position in an empty swimming pool. It looks like to me,
Yeah.
rather than a squash court. So I wonder what's going on there. Anyway,
Yeah, interesting.
unsettling.
Yeah.
It's a bit unsettling actually.
It
If
is.
you study it. So so that's the
point.
fifth one. And what's the last one, Miss Huntley?
Okay, I will come over. Okay, the last one is Prophet Song by Paul Lynch, Irish. Now, it's quite interesting because the Booker Prize is very good at picking up Irish authors and giving them a sort of push. This is a dystopia. This is about an island that is falling apart, basically. Government turning towards tyranny. I suppose you could argue that it's back, but it isn't. It's in the future. And it's about a mother and her family. Yes, he's definitely Irish. These are the epigraphs. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. In other words, we've been through tyranny before in Ireland. In the dark times will there also be singing? Yes, there will also be singing about the dark times. That's Brecht, which he gets through the dark times as well. This is the fourth novel by Paul Lynch, so not a newbie. And this is the opening. The night has come, and she has not heard the knocking, standing at the window, looking out onto the garden. How the dark gathers without sound the cherry trees. It gathers the last of the leaves, and the leaves do not resist the dark, but accept the dark in whisper. Tired now, the day almost behind her, all that still has to be done before bed, and the children settled in the living room, this feeling of rest for a moment by the glass. And that paragraph goes on for 4 pages. It's very, it's the way some Irish talk. Stream of consciousness. But it's in third person. And that knock on the door, that symbol of don't invite them in because there'll be bad news over the threshold. He's got quite a brooding picture. Look at that.
Oh, God.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And he's won prizes before now, including, interestingly, and he's won the Walter Scott Prize, which is the prize for historical fiction. Mm-hmm. And also from France as well, and for European literature, because, of course, Ireland is part of Europe, as we once were. So, interesting. And it's... See the cover? It's quite well expressed. And the family and the different shapes and sort of rooftops and a setting sun. And it could be a prison. So, yeah. Interesting. It's an interesting shortlist.
Yeah.
Is there one more?
No, that's it.
No, that's it.
Yes, and there's certainly some overlaps with some clear differences too. So,
yeah.
Which is a good thing. We all like a bit of difference.
Yeah, it's a shame. I'm sad about Sebastian Barry because I really did like that, but there we are. No matter.
Yeah, they went in a different direction.
Yes, they did. Yeah. Right. Recommendations then for the holidays. No, I think we'll start with... Yeah.
Ria.
This time, rather than the...
Yes, I can see what's in your lap there.
Yes.
So, I'm going to recommend Caraval.
Uh-huh.
Actually, it's on the top shelf in the library, so I don't think anyone has taken it out.
Oh no, they would have. It's popular, I'm sure.
Is that what does the date stamping say? No?
It says 2 people.
There you go. So it has been borrowed.
Okay.
Well, it's more than some books have been borrowed, I can tell you that.
See if we can get the numbers up.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so I think this is a really good book because you think that you know what's going to happen, but it kind of, you don't. So, because I read, enough books to kind of guess what's going to happen.
Oh, okay.
Or, even in movies, I try and guess, and I kind of get it right most of the time. But in this book, I couldn't, because I did guess it, but it didn't come out exactly how I thought it would.
So, Ria, can you explain the title to us?
So, Caraval, it's like, I'll just read the blurb.
Okay.
Once a year, the infamous Master Legend hosts Caraval, open only to those who have been invited. This year, the week-long game is on Legend's glittering Isles de los Sunos, where the winding streets are elaborate snow-covered maze and the people are never who they seem.
Oh.
At midnight on the first day, the show begins and visitors become players. Each of them is vying for the covet prize, a single wish. All they must do is unravel the mystery of Caraval, but in a game where danger hides behind every charming smile. Winning isn't without loss, and their wish might be their last.
And the picture is it a carnival tent
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
circus tent? Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit of a clue
Fantasy.
then. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
fantasy. I think it might have been a bit influenced by the Night
The
Circus.
Night Circus. Okay.
And Hunger
Yeah.
Yeah.
Games a little
Sounds
bit,
yeah,
like
the Hunger Games. But it sounds
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And for your age and above?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. So, how long ago did you read it? Last year? This year?
So I think I read it, last year or a year ago, yeah. And then I stopped it because I tried like in every single library to find it before I came here. And then I actually ended up buying it because I couldn't find it anywhere.
Oh, right.
And then it ended up in our library, which I didn't check.
I think I can see them there. We've got all three of them. It's a series,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So, have you read the other two?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Ah.
And
Yeah.
they're as good?
Yeah, I think the last one's the best.
Right.
Because
Then I'll
after you read the first one, you can kind of like... Because
Is it?
it's kind of similar, but it's something that happens to the other sister. So it's based on two sisters.
Oh, I see.
So it's kind of the first one is one sister, the second one's the other, and the third one's like, I think it's the first sister again, but it's more dramatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ria.
Okay. No. Do you know? Have you got something?
I haven't got.
You haven't got it with you,
book.
but you're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
No. Okay, Ria, do you want to come back here? Yeah.
I have my iPad because I really want to show you the cover because I think
Uh-huh.
it's a really pretty cover, and it was one of the reasons that I picked it up when I was in the bookshop. It's quite a blurry photo. I don't know if you can see that well, but it's got this lovely picture of like a library with like loads of lights, and the version that I've got is kind of like got
Oh,
like
yes.
gold.
The book that wouldn't burn.
Yes, and it's by Mark Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. Have we got it?
I don't
haven't
think
got
so.
it, no.
I couldn't find it. It's quite new,
Oh.
so I got it in hardback. And
Okay.
it's got like gold and it's all shimmery and it's really nice.
Good.
It's good to handle.
Yes, yeah.
Embossed. Yeah.
So it's from two perspectives. So it starts off from the perspective of a young girl who's lived in this like small secluded village all her life. It's fantasy. It's kind of set in like a different world. And she gets kind of like kidnapped by these almost like, I picture them in my head as kind of like hyenas and like coyotes, like a mix of kind of like dog-ish animals. And she gets taken hostage, and somebody saves her and takes her to this city where she starts working in this huge library as a librarian. And so this library is basically infinite. It has loads of rooms and these kind of robots called assistants, which sound like they would be helpful, but aren't really. And so the city was basically built around the library, and the librarians hardly ever come out of the library because they spend all of their time trying to find these books that people have asked for. And because it's an infinite library, it takes a while.
No catalogue system? Or is there a
It
catalogue?
must be
There is.
some sort
There
of
is a
system.
catalogue system, but the
it's
thing
very
is
bad.
that every time a new head librarian gets elected, they change all of the systems, so it's only them who knows where everything is.
Whoa.
That's a bad
So,
Oh my god.
yeah.
This is awful.
And so, yeah, so whenever they come out, it's like so many new things have been invented because of the library's extensive knowledge. It basically knows everything that has been written. So kind of the whole basis of the city is that so many times the city has like grown because of the knowledge in the library, only to then either be destroyed by its own technology or from these coyote hyena hybrid things that come over and take over the city. And the second perspective is from a boy who is trapped in a part of the library and he can't get out, and he's with a few of they call them their siblings, like their brothers and sisters, but it's because they're all in the same situation and they can't remember their family from before. And so his whole thing is trying to get out of the library because he's been stuck there for all that he can remember. He knows he had a life before, but he can't remember any of it.
Sounds a bit
and
like
yeah.
Oliver Twist.
Kind of. But it's got a really, really good twist at the end, which I did not see coming. So if you're kind of into kind of like mystery, it's not really a mystery story, but normally with mystery stories you get really good twists. And it switches from their characters kind of like as soon as something's just about to happen, which I kind of hate and also really like at the same time, because it makes you want to keep on reading, but you also get kind of annoyed because it's like, can't you just say what's happening? But yeah, I really like it. It's also quite a nice thick book as well. So
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you, Juno.
Sounds great. High fantasy, I think. I just had a look. It's published in May, so yeah, we
You want
could
somebody else to do it for you?
get that.
Yes? You want me to do it for you? Right. So we've got another. I've got to do 2 recommendations because Sophia's had to go and Anna wants me to do this. Right. Fireborn, 12 and the Frozen Forest. Anybody read this? Yes.
But yeah,
It's by Aileen Fowler. What else has she written?
I think that
Buffy. Oh, she was she was raised on Buffy the Vampire
Yeah.
Slayer. Oh, we should get on with you then.
I'm sure she would.
The idea for Fireborn came to her as she moved back and forth between London and the US. So, meet 12. The pledge changed her name. She will change the world. Okay. Is that a bear or a dog?
It's a stone dog.
A stone dog. Okay. All right. 12 has spoken the pledge and now she's a huntling. Not a huntling, a huntling. She has given up her name to train in the art of fighting monsters and keeping the peace. Oh, okay. And she won't get to choose a new one until she has earned it. But when the lodge's walls are breached for the first time and a little girl is taken, 12 is the only one interested in going after a child. Teaming up with Dog, the stone guardian of the lodge, she soon ends up on a quest that will change her life, her name, and her entire world. Set in the snowy northern forests of an imagined prehistoric world, Fireborn is a breathtaking debut at terms exciting, funny, and heart-wrenchingly sad. It marks the introduction of an unstoppable new fantasy trilogy. Oh, right, okay.
I think the second one has come out recently
Okay.
in this series.
So this came out in 2021. Prologue. I pledge my life to the hunting lodge. I vow to serve all 7 clans as my own, to protect them from what lies beyond. I forsake all blood ties and blood feuds, to offer up my name and my past. The hunters are my family now and always. I swear before them that I will never lower my weapons in the face of darkness, nor allow tyranny to rise. Okay. So it's a bit sort of prehistoric, but also maybe Game of Thrones, possibly,
Yeah, I was
clannish,
just thinking that,
things
yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
Okay. And recommended.
Yeah, it's probably if you like Brissinger, Crystal Paolini's, anyone read that, or any sort of epic fantasy series, I think that'll
Okay.
be a cup of tea.
So Sophia, who's had to go, Murder Most Unladylike, and we're all familiar with Robin Stevens. There's been a rather shocking murder at Deep Dean School for Girls. And
Has anyone not read these books?
anybody not read them?
I don't think we need to say what these books are about.
Halfway through. Murder Most Unladylike being an account of the case of the murder of Miss Bell, an investigation by the Wells and Wong Detective Society, written by Hazel Wong, Detective Society Secretary, age 13, begun Tuesday 30th of October 1934, and a lovely map, as ever. Lulu loved these, didn't she?
Yeah.
Deep Dean School, the staff, the girls, the discovery of the body.
It's sort of like a bit of...
This is the first one, isn't it?
It's the first one.
Yeah.
It's Agatha Christie
Yeah.
meets...
Mallory Towers.
Mallory Towers, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Absolutely.
Sprinkle in there.
Yeah.
With the 2.
Will they succeed and can
And
their
the-
friendship
Watson.
stand the test? Excellent. Good.
Yeah, that's what we need to say, really.
Yeah.
Right, all right then, Annabelle, you've had your way. Yay.
We got some more people at the back. We've got
Have we
something,
got some
right?
more? Yes.
Yes, we do. Yep. Okay.
So quick shot.
So, Heartstopper, the best book ever. So, it's about...
I thought that was Twilight.
No, this one's
Oh no,
better.
not now. Okay, sorry, my error.
So, it's about 2 boys, and they meet, and then they become friends, and then they fall in love. And
Who's it by?
it's by Alice Osman, and she's written a bunch of other books as well. She's written like Solitaire, she's written Radio Silence, and some other ones.
And they're all set in the same universe, aren't they?
Yeah,
The
they
same
are.
characters as
Mhm.
sometimes focus on the side characters from these.
But
Yeah.
that are still
So what
references.
do you like about it then?
So I like it because it's really, really funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's relatable to like every single person,
Right.
and it's just really easy to read as well.
Okay.
Like like it's not like a big like novel with like 1,000 characters, because it's also a graphic novel, but it's not like really chunky and it hasn't got like a massive plot on it.
Okay.
And there was a
So it's
TV
graphic-
show
so
as
it's a
well.
graphic
It's a graphic novel,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's not everybody's cup of tea.
No.
But it's also a TV series now.
It
isn't it
is.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I
second
think
series out.
if you're not a fan of graphic novels, then you can just watch the TV series because it's so influenced by the books, and
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah, exactly. It's,
it's literally exactly the same, but with like some different spans like off, because you can't really make a
Did she
whole.
write the? Did she write
She
the
did.
TV series? Right. Okay.
So-
So it's her thing then.
Yeah. So she basically like created the whole thing.
Okay. So it's a love story, is it?
Yeah.
heartwarming story of young love. It is.
Yes.
It is nice. It is uplifting.
Yes. Yes. I mean, we've heard it.
Yeah, we have. It's just we've heard it so many
This is
times.
about the fourth time.
Yeah, this is why Miss
This is
Huntley.
good. This is
Yeah,
worth
indeed.
And the leaves are adorable.
Yeah, and we've got several copies because it keeps.
Yeah, the kids keep on flying off the shelves, and you're right about the leaves. They're very effective, particularly in the TV
So
show.
this
The leaves,
particular copy. This is the other copy, isn't it?
probably.
Or is it?
I mean, there's so many copies. We probably, it's got the blue tape
Oh,
on
so
it.
you've got
Yeah,
like 7.
Well,
So.
that's not bad.
yeah, but that's the spear though. That's the spear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And volume 5 is coming out in December.
Wow.
No, it's coming out on the 7th of November in the UK.
Oh, but they moved it forward. I thought it was. In
No, that's
December.
only in the UK, and then all the other countries, they have to wait another month. I've got a countdown thing on it on my
Is she
phone.
English then?
Yeah.
it's set in-
It's set in Union. It's set in Britain.
Oh, I thought it was American.
No, it's not American. It's
No.
British.
It's very
Right.
British, actually.
It's as British as you can get, actually.
Like,
Great.
people in the TV series, they've told me they forget, like, that it's set in the UK, and then they think they took a bus to Paris from the US. So,
Oh, yeah, 'cause they go to Paris.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Alright.
That's why it
Great.
appeals.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Annabelle.
Read the book.
Under pressure from Miss Huntley from the start.
That's brilliant. Beatrice,
Well, I don't have a book, but like,
have you got anything on your iPad, or are you just going to talk?
like
Come and talk.
Yeah, just talk. That's
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Don't have to have the physical book.
So it's called I Was Born for This, which is also by Alice Oseman.
Oh, okay then. Right, this is a theme.
And it's got 2 different perspectives. One of them is by a girl called Angel, who's basically meeting up with her friend that she met online to go to this concert with this boy band that she really likes. And then the other perspective is from one of the boys in the boy band, who struggles with like anxiety, and it like tells like
So it's quite relatable then.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it tells like a nice little story about like how they meet and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So thoroughly recommended.
Yeah.
Have we got it?
Oh,
we have-
no, of course we do. It's Alice Oseman. Yeah, I'm sure we do.
We'll have to double check.
I'll double check, but I expect
Check
we
whether
do,
it's in.
yes. I expect we do.
Okay. Thank you, Beatrice.
All right.
Thank you. Right, who's next? Anybody?
Nuala, Phoebe.
Come on down.
Okay, Nuala, then Phoebe. Hannah, you got anything?
TV, yes. Got one.
Hannah hasn't got anything. Oh, the Secret History, lovely. Holly? Yeah. I'm just thinking who else has got something. Right.
Let's go.
So the book I'm recommending is The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and it's one of,
Camera.
I think, 3 books that she's written.
Is this your copy or is this the library copy?
This is the library copy.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Very nice.
It's
Yeah.
seen better days.
Right,
Well, I
many of
think
our
it looks
books
best
look
like this,
that.
but-
Wow.
Tells
Yeah.
you something, doesn't
It
it?
does.
But I think it's one
It's-
of the best books that I've ever read. It's, I think it's 646 pages. But honestly, it's just amazing. It's set in Vermont in the 80s, in this little place called Hampton, and it has its own college. And it's based around this group of students who love to study the classics, which is amazing, I think. And
Yeah.
basically something...
Miss Huntley. Not sure. Yeah, go on.
They do something awful.
They do.
And the book is set around what made that happen? What was the build up to that? And why did it happen in the first place? And then there's a little bit of the aftermath, but I think it's amazing, and it really describes the characters' personalities as well, and it develops them.
Yeah, it does.
So I really like it. The prologue it's straight in there. So the first bit, it's talking about the person's been dead already for 7 weeks, and then it's really descriptive, and it's written like a classic book, like a sort of olden times novel, but if you reread
A
it,
Victorian novel? Or...
well, no, like one that you would assume would be like a fancy posh novel. But I think if you reread it enough times, it becomes almost a comedy, almost, because they act in some of the stupidest ways I've ever heard. But it's very funny.
There is some very good humour in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my recommendation.
Okay.
I thought of it as a comedy.
Oh well,
You need to
it's just got funny moments because
I think
of.
it's probably got funnier, hasn't it?
I guess, yeah. If you think about what they actually, because there are some far fetched. When if I say to you out loud what they were doing that led them to the bad thing, it's like no one does that. But she somehow makes it believable, and she's a very talented author. You know, we referenced her earlier with the Goldfinch, by the way.
Yeah,
So-
although sororities are very peculiar.
Yeah.
Especially in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
So this is the late 80s, I think it's set. If I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
So do you know
Yeah.
about Donna Tartt?
I know a little bit about her. I don't know very much about her, but it's a really good book, and I really like it, and I would really recommend it. But I think it's definitely for someone over the age of 14. I think 13's an okay age to read it, but I don't think younger than that is very good.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd
But
agree.
it is great. I love it too.
Yeah.
It is a great book. So
Very
good recommendation.
Yeah, we haven't had that for a while. Well done.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and like some others. Yes. Thank you, Nuala.
Thank you.
Right, Phoebe, you had something, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. Nice range of stuff. It's good.
Yeah. Ooh, hello.
Ooh.
Oh, I know what she's got. I see what she's got.
classics.
Very good. More
I've got-
classics, yeah.
Cersei. It's by Madeline Miller, and it's a retelling of the story of Cersei, but from her point of view, which is, I found it really interesting when I was reading it, like, of like a god, like the position, their like point of view and how they behave. I found that really interesting, and then also I really like that it's very faithful to the myth. That's very good. I also just realised that there's a map in here, and in my copy at home it doesn't have a map, and
Oh.
it
Have
was
you got the paperback?
yeah, I've got the
That's
paperback.
a bit of a swizz.
It
isn't
is.
Yeah.
They do
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really
encourage you
sad.
to buy the hardback, you see.
Yeah, but they're more expensive, so.
That's it.
So, I can't remember where she is. What the name of the island is? Can you remember?
Ayaya.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
Some people might know Madeline Miller from The Song of Achilles as well, which is, I think, is more popular because it's more like romance and like tragedy and stuff. But I think Cersei is very
Yes, it
good.
definitely needed a retelling, didn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was very fun. I read this at the end of year 8, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it for anyone below year 8 to read,
Yeah.
because but yeah, that's.
All right, thanks, Phoebe. Anyone else? Anyone else? You do have something now, Hannah, yes? Oh, and also Esther as well. Right, Esther, do you want to come on then? We'll have Hannah.
Yeah. We're still all right for time.
Yeah, I think so.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this book is not in the library because it's. I haven't found
don't be so
it in
sure.
the places. It's
Go on.
the Keeper of Lost Cities series, which is by Shannon Messenger. I've only read the first 3 books. There's like 9 right now, and a 10th is coming out soon. And there's also discussion of an 11th book. But it's about a girl called Sophie Foster, who is telepathic, and one day she finds out that there are other people like her, elves, and it's her adventure, and like it's about like what happens after that, and her going into this new world, and there's loads of danger, and it's really fun. It's online it says it's for 9+, which I probably agree with. It's not very. It's not like a young adult book. It's more like
Middle grade, as they call it.
yeah, middle grade. But
Okay.
it's still a very fun book to read if you're wanting to read something quite light.
But entertaining. Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hannah.
So hearing about the secret history got me thinking, If We Were Villains, which is basically the secret history but for English and drama nerds. And it's about, another group of like obsessive students it's interesting, I was thinking about what you said, Mr. Humphreys, about obsession, how it takes over your life. But for them, they're constantly acting out these Shakespeare plays, and it starts to become their life. It's not just what they're thinking about. They start to think they're the characters in the play almost. Not explicitly, but you see them acting as the stock characters that they always seem to play, which I think is really interesting. It's similar to the secret history because it's foregrounded with the knowledge, there's going to be a murder. The main character's just got out of prison, and you have to work out what actually happens. But it's set with these tight-knit group of friends in a beautiful setting, and they're reading Shakespeare, and everything seems okay, but there's underlying tensions and stuff in between, so I think that's really interesting, trying to pick apart what's actually going on. I don't believe in putting ages on books, so I just say read it.
Yeah, we don't have to do that, by the way. We seem to have started doing that for some reason.
Maybe, I think everyone should read it at some point. I think especially, unfortunately, I feel like I don't have the full knowledge of Shakespeare to appreciate it, but I'm sure there were so many references and stuff.
Oh, there's tons.
There are.
The ones I got were really satisfying, but I'm sure there were so many more.
That's the great thing about the illusions, but don't worry about it. I'm sure you'll come back to it. when you've got a bit more.
I've written a note on my phone, reread 20 years' time or something.
And they do actually spout Shakespeare at each other all the time. And
It's so pretentious, but...
It is, but the author, she said in her acknowledgements, I remember Emil Rio, she actually says, they do actually speak like this. So
Really?
she said people,
Is it based
there
on
are...
something real?
Well, not the murder bit, I don't think. But certainly, yeah. I mean, not all drama students, but a certain type do.
In her experience.
In her experience, yeah. She's not casting everyone with the same brush. She's just saying that, some of them really do speak like that because they are a bit pretentious.
I mean, when you're isolated and all you do is one subject, and you're surrounded with people who are so similar to you, have the same sort of extroverted
Also,
personality.
if you're doing it all the time, if you're at the RSC, you're going to want to be reading it all the time because there's just so much there. There really is, even 400 years later.
And it is indeed reminiscent of, you could hear from the description, it is basically
very reminiscent.
heavily influenced by the secret history.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a
Clearly.
bad thing.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah,
No, in some ways, it's a fan fiction tribute to it.
precise, but high caliber.
Yeah,
fan
sometimes
fiction,
I feel like it can be
definitely.
really badly done, stuff like that. But this one was successful, I think. She did a good job. Anyway, thanks.
Thank you, Hannah. That's everyone.
Is that everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dead on fire.
This will be like 10 seconds. Seeing as we just mentioned Shakespeare,
Aha.
Michael
Oh, yes, the
Morpurgo's
new one.
Tales from William Shakespeare, because one genius deserves another.
Yes, indeed.
I don't think I need to say anything else. It's Michael Morpurgo. Tales from Shakespeare. That's what I need to say. So there you go. That's
we
my
go.
recommendation.
Mrs. Rio?
I left mine over there. I had
Thanks, Gina.
Little
Little
Stranger by
Stranger.
Sarah Waters, 'cause it's,
Scary,
it's
scary, because
scary.
it's Halloween.
It's Halloween. We're going to be on half term over October, and this is just a very good, a very classic haunted house story. But it does have a sort of interesting twist to it, where you're never sure if the ghost is real or not, and I like that kind of thing.
It's hideous.
So it's spooky, but it's
It's
good.
really spooky.
Did you see the movie version?
No, I can't. Not on my own.
It's not right. It's not.
Is it not?
No. It's good, but it didn't quite. It's too soft, if that makes sense. It didn't quite get the moments, but yeah. It's
Okay.
for older readers, I'd say. It's
Yeah, for
scary,
older
but
readers,
if you want
yeah.
something really, really scary to read over Halloween.
Yeah.
that one
The
is-
other one is the one.
For younger readers.
Are we doing Halloween when we get back? Because it is that week.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Yeah,
we'll do Halloween
Let's do
when
Halloween.
we get back.
Okay, so so think about that.
So there'll be the Halloween party, which parks are running.
Oh yeah, you might
which
have seen
will
the
be fun.
posters.
So
They're doing that on Halloween itself, I
Yeah.
think. Whereas obviously
I've
ours will
got
be-
two. These are not new anymore,
No, but they're still good.
but still very good. And this one is Celia Reese, the Fool's Girl. This is about Viola. She's not called Viola in this, she's called Violetta. And it's based on Twelfth Night, but it's more than Twelfth Night. It's a very, very good retelling, but actually there's more to it. My name is Feste. The clown cradled a folly stick to his chest, twisting its face away to avoid further scrutiny. That's his little jesting stick. He turned to welcome his companion back. This is Violetta. That is very good. It's very, very good on Shakespeare's London and Illyria. Yeah, exactly. And this is the other one, Pirates. If you haven't read this, I really, really recommend it. Year 8 upwards. She came to talk to us the year that this came out.
Oh wow! This was
a long time ago.
This is 2000, early 2000s.
2005.
Yeah.
And it's based on a true story. Mary Bonney and the other, whose name I can't now remember. A minute, she might tell us.
Is it Anne something?
It's Anne, yes.
Yeah, when we think of pirates, perhaps you think of Blackbeard.
You think of Blackbeard
and Long John Silver.
Yeah,
fiction-wise, but female pirates.
Yeah, female pirates. But anyway, she calls them. This is what she calls them: the true and remarkable adventures of Minerva Sharp and Nancy Kington, female pirates. And also, the brilliant thing about this is that it talks about the slaves and the Caribbean, because that's where an awful lot of piracy was, and marriage, and there's a supernatural element as well. It starts in Bristol, and Bristol was a slave town. It sent out, it received cargoes of sugar, just like Liverpool did, and a lot of its riches were based on slavery, like an awful lot of London, like an awful lot of Britain in the 18th century, and before actually the 16th century. But the voice is, yes, she's the daughter of a sugar merchant. He owned plantations in Jamaica, and it turns on these ruby earrings. 2 girls. It's absolutely fabulous. I cannot recommend it highly enough because it's exciting, it's informative, and it's absolutely still relevant, if not more relevant now than perhaps when it was first written, especially with Bristol having been in the news so much.
Yeah,
with the statue of Edward Colston being, removed and put in the harbour. Yes. So again, I really, really brilliant. She is wonderful.
Can I just make a quick recommendation for the back of that? There's a newish book by Alex Wheatle called Commotion of the Caribbean. It is about a female pirate in the Caribbean, and it's a black female pirate, and slavery plays a big part in that too, because he was shortlisted for another book about slavery called Cane Warriors, and that's another really great recommendation.
One of these is Maroon. So
there you go.
Yeah, good.
Brilliant.
So whatever you're reading, enjoy it. Whatever you're doing, enjoy. Come back safely, and whatever you're doing, keep up.
Yeah.
And watch our back episodes while we're gone.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you
when we
we're gone for a couple of weeks. We'll see you when we get back.
Yeah,
Lovely
okay.
too.
Have a good half term, everyone.
Have a
Bye.
good half term. Bye.
Keep reading. Bye. Bye.